Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something I've heard recently, over time really, on videos. Videos can be on many platforms these days, not just YouTube. And it's from these, they call themselves delivery gig workers. They're working at various ones, some of them. And some of them, they still call themselves, although they're only at one place. Work for one place mainly or only. Anyway, and the mentality, the attitudes as a customer really got to me. And I have been making videos since, I don't know, it could have been 2019, 2018, about some of the problems I've had with delivery services like that, as such. They could be groceries. I'm not talking about anything else than the other, like groceries and restaurants, this thing. Okay. And like I said, I've been making videos on different channels. This channel I don't use that much, and but I decided before really to use it for this purpose. Then something came up, and again I'm trying to put up some videos I have made and make some videos I have written notes on about these things, about situations, like their mentality. And here's one of them. Pardon the blinkers. Actually, more than one attitude. Okay, I'm going to mention. Like the first two. One of them is that these gig workers, these drivers, they need to educate. That's the term. The word educate. The customers. Okay. And why they want to educate the customers is to tell the customers that they, the gig workers, don't make as much money on these deliveries, and that the uneducated, apparently, on this matter, customers need to realize that they need to pay more, even more, but pay more on tips. Okay, a tip is a gratuity. Maybe some of you might need education yourself. A tip is a gratuity, and I've said this in other videos, that is something somebody gives if they want to. They don't have to. And I know some of them say, well, the tip's not up there right away, I'm not paying for the I'm not going to take that order. Take that, whatever they call it. It's your job. You know the score. You signed up for it. And that's going to probably look really bad when it comes time to start laying off people, because so many people are going to start doing it themselves, after, what's going on in the world today is no longer that much of an issue. So, me, I always have the tip up there. It's already there. And my orders are usually not small orders. And I am well aware that they get, not only do I pay more for the whatever it is, but I also have to pay this other little thing they started adding on, some fee. And and then they're saying they're demanding, well, there's also the membership, and they're demanding, or putting a stipulation, something, if we don't pay a tip, and a good one. You do realize that if it weren't for the customers, you wouldn't have a job at all, right? Yeah, have you considered that? Okay, and there is also this mentality that if you can't afford it, perhaps you shouldn't be using, if you can't afford to use the service, perhaps you shouldn't even be using it at all. In other words, if you can afford to pay them. Let me think about this. I stopped using the services after I started having, I've seen these problems. Like I said, I've been making videos about them since probably 2018. And I've certainly seen them when they come up with this new thing, Decline Now. I certainly started seeing it and causing me issues. And that's when, and then on top of seeing these videos, I unsubscribed, dropped my membership, no longer use the services. So guess what? There's one customer down. How many others would say, yeah, we really don't need, what we really don't need to do is to have somebody delivering our stuff that has this kind of mentality. That all about them. No, thank you. Now, what else is pretty much hilarious is that some of the same ones, I'm not saying anybody's name in particular, but some of the same ones that complain about not making enough money are making videos now and bragging about how much money they make. Oh my, do you see an issue with that? Oh, by the way, I am a early retired educator, and I am a social and behavioral scientist. Okay? Yes. Now, overall, these are people who are talking themselves out of the job. Really, I think. Of course, I can't say that every one of them is going to be laid off or fired. But, I mean, they're talking themselves out of a job, and maybe other people out of a job. Because, like, here's one customer that used several of these for various reasons and for various kinds of things. And to hear that, oh my goodness. But there goes one customer, poof. Okay, because of attitudes. So who could possibly lose a job over me and say, oh, more and more and more people? A lot of them. And with the companies pretty soon, they'll be begging for more customers, that the customers have left, please don't leave. Well, you're not invisible. I saw you. You're on YouTube. You think nobody else watches YouTube? But no, they're talking themselves out of jobs, or other people out of jobs, because they want to do this thing, decline now, and don't take the smaller ones. Well, man, those companies that they work for are going to be begging people, for the membership and to get even those small orders, please. Some of the people who are going to be delivering are going to be wishing they had those $3 ones. And by the way, research to determine how it works is not just you doing looking around in your area and therefore that's how it would be for everyone. No, that's not how it works. Let me educate you a little bit on that. No, I'm not going to educate you. But, as a social and behavioral scientist, I do know that no, that's not how research is done. Okay, what happens in your little area, your little corner, your little town would not possibly be the same for other people. There might be somebody who actually says, I never tip until, when I go to a restaurant, I tip when I see the way they do their service. Or are they doing the appropriate job? Are they doing it within time? Are they making me wait because somebody declined it before, so they can make a little bit extra money? And how long does it take to get my food? How cold is it once I get it? So yeah, talking yourself and or others out of jobs. Okay. Attitudes can cost jobs. So, and they also, putting yourself on video, you don't think there might be some people out there, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to waste my time, but on that way, I'm going to do this way. Some people might figure out, well, you do kind of show where you are and where you're, what area you're in, and there's your, your video with your picture on it, which, you're videoing yourself quite often, and they just, say, I'm going to call the company and tell them, say, look at this video, and poof, there goes your job. Okay, I got my mask on. I'm a good citizen. It's not mandatory anymore here in Texas. Anyway, another thing is, I'm going to mention this in another video, but some of them seem to think that caring is a one-way street. Only that everybody should be caring about them. Okay, the customer should care about them. And this whole thing of educating the customer so the customer will pay them more. What if that customer can't afford it? But they've already got that attitude that if you can't afford the service, perhaps you shouldn't be using it. Again, talking themselves out of a job. Talking themselves out of a job. And you chose that job. You know the score. Or do you? Do you know the score that if you're seen as not a team player, that there are orders out there for those small ones, you're not taking them because they're not a big price up there, big, bold, I'm only going to take it if it's this. Yeah, if it's way out of your way, like 17, 15, 20, 45 miles, something like that, yeah, okay, reasonably no. To say no to that. I don't think they give them that far, like 45 minutes or something like that. But still, if it's something local, just down the road, but you're not going to take it because it's not enough, not a team player, I'd fire you. I would fire you in a second. So, but anyway, I also, from what I understand, on some of them, if you don't accept, you keep declining, that goes against something some call an acceptance rate, and they can fire you for it. I can see why. You're not a team player. You got hired for the job, but you don't want to do the job. You only want to pick and choose, be a cherry picker, as some call it. I mean, people have been using cherry picker for a long while. It might not be such a PC way of putting it either. But really, what it comes down to, okay, you're bragging about how much you're making, but you're having problems with not getting paid enough. But you're bragging about what you're earning, but you have problems with it, but you're not getting paid enough. Shall I continue? Do you see a problem with that? But okay, if you have a problem not getting paid enough, why aren't you educating your employer? What? I didn't hear that. Why aren't you educating your employer? How much it costs you? You got to pay gas. You got wear and tear on your auto. You have bills to pay. But is that just is that really the customer's problem? No, it's not the customer's problem. Okay. But no, according to you, caring is only a one-way street, and the customer has to care about you and has to pay you, take money out of their own kids' mouths, or an elderly woman who, just lost her husband, widow, and can barely make it on what she has, and she hasn't yet been able to get what would allow her to freely go out and buy what she needs. What's going on in the world today. And she shouldn't use the service because she's not going to pay you a tip. Are you caring about this? You don't know. Quite often, I would imagine, you don't know who's behind that door. Are you caring about them? Now, I'd seen a few videos, just now recently, like a week or so ago, saw these videos out there. I don't know. Yeah, I started watching them, I should say. And started hearing the attitudes. Like I said, screw this. I don't need it. And, there are things you can go and pick up groceries. You can pick up stuff. And, you don't have to deal with these services. And now that Adam's he's about to get his second shot. Yeah, I've already said bye-bye to all of them. But really, people, you're talking yourself out of a job. Okay, and you're going to educate the customers. You're biting the hands that feed you, and you're going to educate the customer into why they need to think about you. Maybe you should spend more time thinking about the customer, thinking about doing a good job for the customer. Don't go into grocery stores and buy fruit that has white stuff growing on it. Yeah, actually take some time and, fruit and vegetables that are like, how many years old? Something that's going to expire today or tomorrow. When it's a leave at door order of groceries, don't stand over yelling at the customer to come out and look at every bag because you didn't separate them right, and maybe you have some in it for another customer. You didn't do your job right, and you're not wearing a mask when it was mandatory, and you're standing over the groceries yelling. What's you spewing out of your mouth? And I can go on, believe me, I can go on. Maybe you need to take your time I'm going to rush and get to the next gig the next order so I can get more money, and not do the customer right that you're on right now. Yeah. And I've seen some mistakes on videos. Like the customer says, this is a leave at door, or not a leave at door. It's not a leave at door. It's a hand it to the customer and they leave it at the door. And don't even ring the doorbell until they're, right before, and then they run off. Yeah. So maybe you need to think about that. Who needs to be educated? Who, when it comes down to it all, if it weren't for you wouldn't have a job, and you're going to insult them, you're going to try to tell them that they need to learn from you and do you right by paying you more. They're already paying a membership fee, and it's not their problem. They don't need to. They don't have to give you a gratuity, please. You should know that. You do know that. But really, educate the customer. Let's go down the list here and how much you have to pay. Not only do you have to pay membership, not only do you have to pay more for whatever it is, not only do you have to pay the extra little fee and waste your time because they keep going, oh, I'm going to decline now. Maybe somebody down the line will take it and they'll get a really good amount. Mentality. Nope. Bye-bye membership. Never use the service again. No more money. Not for me. You see what that kind of mentality could bring about? It didn't me. Bye-bye.